Hey guys, this is Kevin with Imagination Hobbies, also known as Minerals of Moria. And what I have here is a calcite from China. I believe it's Hubei province. I could be wrong. I have to look at the label. But it's not really the point of this video today. So, I collect thumbnail sized minerals, and that means that it needs to be able to fit into a 1-inch cube. This is too big, and this is also too small to be a really high quality miniature. I mean, it's a really great specimen. Um, the crystal, though, is not big enough to be a well scored miniature, but it would make a really nice thumbnail. It's very perfect, well crystallized, has some good clarity, and just really very lustrous. So what I want to try to do, if you can see my palm, I have squished some mineral tack into like a flat pancake kind of thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over this crystal. You can do this as many times as you feel necessary. I'm going to put a layer over this crystal to protect it before I attempt to trim it with a diamond wheel. And I highly suggest doing this. You don't want a lot of vibration, so when you're cutting, you want to make sure it's going to be a smooth, like seamless kind of clean cut versus hitting a bunch of jagged edges and really vibrating the piece around, because then you have a risk of this crystal popping off. So there's always a risk involved. This one, is probably a little bit higher risk because I think there's some quartz within this matrix, and I don't know how quite hard it's going to be. So I'm going to make an attempt, and you have to be ready to bail on your attempt at any point. Do a couple little tests that aren't going to affect the aesthetics of the piece. The display is this direction, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be test cutting here where you can't see it, just to see how dense this is and to see if I can make any headway or reasonable amount of movement without causing too much vibration, impact, without causing this to just crumble apart. I don't want it to just crumble apart. My goal, if this does work, my goal is to make sure to preserve this sidecar crystal here that's pointed and this main crystal, and it would have more of like an observability like that. It would be more of this size is the goal, and I don't want to cause too much destruction, and I definitely don't want to ding the main crystal. So if I'm not confident that I can do that, I'll bail out on that and I'll come back to the video. If I am confident, then after I show you, this putty on there, show you a couple things, I'll be back and it might be a completely trimmed piece. So we'll find out. One moment. Okay, you can see I just layered on the putty. I put it all the way around. I didn't get all the way down to the matrix. That's not really necessary. I'm just kind of protecting the outside of it from my fingers, as well as from an accidental drop. If I dropped it while I was doing it, I don't want it to hit the crystal. I'm probably going to put another thin layer of putty over this layer of putty, but you guys don't need to really see that. You saw how I did it the first time. And then I'll be back and we'll see what happens. No guarantees, so. All right, so there's two schools of thought here. There is play stupid games and win stupid prizes. And there is no reward without risk. And I feel like both of those principles are very true when it comes to especially trying to trim thumbnail size specimens that are really small with really hard matrix. So there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today, I would say that I did prevail in achieving what I was trying to achieve. Um, there were a couple chances I could have completely ruined this specimen. Um, I luckily had a couple layers of mineral tack on it, and that was really important to preserving it because it was a couple slips. There was at one point a time where some of this calcite had chipped off and got stuck within the clay on the front side, and that would have scratched the front side of this specimen and really messed with the aesthetics of it. Um, I was able to preserve that on the bottom here. You can see I went at it with several cuts from the back angle, several very not gentle, but very precise, methodical cuts at a downward angle from the back, so that way it presented very naturally in the front. But it's not always a happy story or a happy ending. There was a point where I slipped and the small diamond wheel, went pretty deep into the clay or into the putty, and I wish I had a third layer on it, because if we look at the back, oh, I got it. I nicked the back. I think, just barely. I don't think that's putty residue. I think I nicked the back. But I'm still going to call this a success. I know most of you wouldn't. Most of you would be appalled at the fact that I did this. But man, it presents very well from the front and like almost every angle, except for the very opposite end. So yes, is that a tragedy? 100% that's a tragedy. Why do I, care so much about the size of the minerals? Well, that's basically how I collect. So, I know most of you think I'm crazy, but that little ding right there, I'm gonna be okay with that, because it was definitely worth it to me to get this cute little specimen in the thumbnail size from this locality, and I wouldn't be displaying it had it been a larger size. It wouldn't have been it wouldn't have made it into any of my displays that are shown to the public. So yeah, it's a trade-off, guys. Should I have had like a third layer of putty on there? 100%. Hindsight's 2020. It did get in there far enough to actually, I think, disrupt the crystal right there. There's probably some tricks, to hide that, but I don't really practice that. So overall, I'm gonna call it a success. It's not really observable from the front at all. I am so sorry that this thing will not focus right, but hopefully you guys, I don't know, got some entertainment out of this. You can laugh at me at least, but have a good day. It's Kevin with Minerals of Moria and Imagination Hobbies, and I'll catch you later. Bye.